Hello once again, this is Sonic Rules 831, and the long wait is over. Welcome to part 4 of What If Earnhardt Was Still Alive for 2021, the original project from Griffdog. So, this is going to be the final part. Let me explain how part 4 is going to go. As much as I would love to go into more of the highlights of the races, due to the fact that right now my computer does not have a whole lot of storage on it, and I really want to get this out for you guys because the wait has been too long. I've been uber busy just trying to make money and get by, so I sincerely apologize, but it's here, and I am going to show you all the winners of every race, and then we'll work our way all the way to the season finale, which I will show all the highlights of and reveal the champion. Lastly, I have begun some ideas for 2022 silly season, funny enough, but I am of course waiting to see what happens in real life and see if I can justify putting that in this timeline. If not, I can always try some different things. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's head to the first race we will cover, and that is at the inaugural Cup race at Road America. This race was dominated by one driver, and shockingly enough, it's someone we wouldn't have expected. Ty Dillon ends up getting the win at Road America in a dominant fashion. He is starting to become quite the road course specialist that could possibly rival the likes of Chase Elliott. And I will also show you the top 10 and standings updates after every race. The next stop is heading back to Atlanta for the Imposter Quaker State 400. Ow, okay. For the Quaker State 400 at Atlanta. This race was won by Joey Logano as he held off Kyle Larson and David Stremme for the win. Here's your top 10. Logano's your winner, Stremme 2nd, Kyle Larson 3rd, Austin Dillon 4th, Landon Castle 5th, Ryan Blaney 6th, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, Martin Truex Jr., and Tyler Reddick round out the top 10. And as you can see, Denny Hamlin still holds on to the points lead, up by 34 points over Kevin Harvick. Next up is New Hampshire, and this was a race that was pretty much a battle between two drivers, Jeffrey Earnhardt and Landon Castle. In the end, Jeffrey Earnhardt ends up prevailing, and he gets the win at the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301 at New Hampshire. Landon Castle is 2nd, Denny Hamlin 3rd, Joey Logano 4th, William Byron 5th, David Stremme 6th, 7th was Kevin Harvick, 8th Austin Dillon, 9th was Ryan Blaney, and 10th is Garrett Smithley in the number 37 for JTG. NASCAR returns to Watkins Glen after not having a race there in 2020. And this race was won by Joey Logano. Michael McDowell was 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd, Spencer Gallagher 4th, Kyle Larson 5th, Kurt Busch in 6th, Kevin Harvick 7th, Brad Keselowski 8th, Ross Chastain, and Corey LaJoie rounding out the top 10. Denny Hamlin's points lead has narrowed to 19 points. Kevin Harvick is slowly creeping towards him. I could not find a correct feasible version of the Indianapolis road course to use, as the one I did find could only do 30 cars. So due to that, I will say that once again the Xfinity Series is running on the road course and the Cup Series will be on the oval. So once again, I do apologize for any inconveniences. A wreck would happen late in the race, and this is NR 2003, so the race would end under caution, and just like his grandfather did and his uncle, Jeffrey Earnhardt is now a winner of the Brickyard 400. Spencer Gallagher finishes in 2nd, Joey Logano 3rd, Kevin Harvick 4th, William Byron 5th, Martin Truex Jr. 6th, Brad Keselowski 7th, Kyle Busch 8th, Denny Hamlin 9th, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 10th. Kevin Harvick is still there, back by 15 points of Denny Hamlin. The next stop brings us to the Firekeepers Casino 400 at the Michigan International Speedway. This race was won by Martin Truex Jr. Chris Buescher finished 2nd, Jeffrey Earnhardt 3rd, Ty Dillon 4th, Ryan Truex 5th, Ross Chastain in 6th, Kevin Harvick 7th, Spencer Gallagher 8th, Joey Logano 9th, and David Stremme in 10th. And because of that, Kevin Harvick has taken the points lead over Denny Hamlin. It's a 3-point deficit, but it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this season plays out. Next, we head to Darlington for the Southern 500. Jimmy Johnson will make a one-off start for Chip Ganassi. So something interesting I've also decided to do is, because there is no playoff, there is no chase or any of that, I decided to do a fun little challenge called the Camping World Elimination Challenge. So from here on out, there are 16 drivers, and to qualify, you have to win a race this season. And if there are more than 16 winners, I will simply go by points and who has a win and who's higher in points. Here are the 16 drivers I have listed. This has no effect towards the championship, and the lowest finishing driver will be eliminated. And then the second to last race, 4 of the remaining 8 will be eliminated, and then there'll be 4 drivers to fight for a big cash prize at the end of the season. With that being said, Denny Hamlin fights back. He holds off Jeffrey Earnhardt to win the Southern 500 at Darlington. Kyle Larson finished 3rd, Brad Keselowski 4th, Tyler Reddick in 5th, Ryan Blaney 6th, Michael McDowell, Chris Buescher, David Stremme, and Kurt Busch round out the top 10. Denny Hamlin takes the points lead back from Kevin Harvick, now up by 19 points. Next stop brings us to Richmond for the Federated Auto Parts 400, and once again, Denny Hamlin is becoming an unstoppable force. He goes on to win again at Richmond. Could this be the year he finally secures a Cup championship? Martin Truex Jr. finished 2nd, Kyle Larson in 3rd, Alex Bowman 4th, Kurt Busch 5th, Brad Keselowski 6th, Michael McDowell 7th, Daniel Suarez 8th, Ty Dillon 9th, and Eric Jones in 10th. Denny Hamlin's points lead is now continuing to increase. Next race was the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race at Bristol. There was a lot of shuffling, a lot of lead changes, and a lot of wrecks. And when the dust settled, it was David Stremme who goes on to get his 2nd win of 2021, and he will do so at Bristol. Joey Logano finishes in 2nd, 3rd was Austin Dillon, 4th Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch 5th, Justin Allgaier 6th, Ty Dillon 7th, John Hunter Nemechek in 8th, Jeffrey Earnhardt 9th, and Ross Chastain in 10th. David Stremme now moves up to 2nd in the points, back by 53 points. NASCAR heads back to Las Vegas for the South Point Casino 400. And who wins this race? None other than James Dennis Allen Hamlin. If I said that correctly, he holds off William Byron for the win at Las Vegas. Denny Hamlin again going on a tear. William Byron 2nd, Austin Dillon 3rd, Jeffrey Earnhardt 4th, Chase Elliott 5th, Joey Logano 6th, AJ Allmendinger making a one-off start for Kaulig Racing in a 2nd car, finished in 7th. Larson was 8th, Keselowski 9th, and Blaney in 10th. Once again, Denny Hamlin continuing to run away with the title. Joey Logano now moves up to 2nd in the points. Here's the big wild card near the end of the season, the Yellowwood 500 at Talladega. It came down to 3 guys at the end after all the wrecks: Justin Allgaier, Austin Dillon, and Denny Hamlin. Justin Allgaier ends up holding them off to score the win for Rick Ware Racing. Allgaier gets a much-needed win. Austin Dillon is 2nd. 3rd was Denny Hamlin. Chase Elliott 4th. Kevin Harvick 5th. Cole Custer 6th. Ryan Newman 7th. BJ McLeod in 8th. John Hunter Nemechek 9th. And Ryan Truex in 10th. Kevin Harvick moves back up to 2nd in points, but Denny Hamlin had yet another great finish, which means he's holding a pretty good points lead. Race 32 was at the Bank of America Roval 400 at the Charlotte Roval. Ty Dillon took a copy of Road America and he pasted it, as Dillon would get his 2nd win of 2021 at the Charlotte Roval. Ty Dillon's your winner. Joey Logano 2nd, Chase Elliott 3rd, Alex Bowman 4th, Kyle Larson 5th, Denny Hamlin 6th, Ryan Preece 7th, Michael McDowell 8th, Ryan Truex 9th, and Brad Keselowski in 10th. Denny Hamlin now up by 92 points over Joey Logano. We head next to Texas. We just have a handful of races to go. Denny Hamlin gets a big win as he holds off Kyle Larson to win at Texas. This will pretty much just about secure him the 2021 Cup Series championship. Larson was second, Joey Logano third, William Byron fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, Kevin Harvick sixth, Brad Keselowski seventh, David Stremme eighth, Jeffrey Earnhardt ninth, and Ryan Blaney rounds out the top 10 as Denny Hamlin's points lead now is up to 96 over Joey Logano. After this race, there'll be just 2 races left on the season. It's the Hollywood Casino 400 at Kansas. And once again, there is no stopping Denny Hamlin. He takes the checkered flag again at Kansas. William Byron second, David Stremme third, Chase Elliott fourth, Kyle Larson fifth, Kyle Busch sixth, Jeffrey Earnhardt seventh, Joey Logano eighth, Landon Cassill ninth, Kevin Harvick in 10th. The second to last race of the season at Martinsville, and it's the same old thing. It's been the last 2 races. Denny Hamlin pretty much dominates another race, and he goes on to win, and at this rate, he is the 2021 champion no matter what. Welcome to the season finale for the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series for What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive. Denny Hamlin has pretty much locked up the championship, but there are still drivers fighting for their futures and for rides next season, with NASCAR going to look a lot different in 2022. A lot of guys will go all out, and this is also the final race for the Gen 6 car that debuted back in 2013, as the next gen car will debut in the 2022 Daytona 500. And the final 4 contenders of the earlier mentioned Camping World Elimination Challenge are Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Tyler Reddick. The highest finishing driver will collect a pretty good cash prize. Denny Hamlin is on the pole, and his own car, Bubba Wallace in the 23, will start next to him as the green flag waves on the final race of 2021. Denny Hamlin has gone on an absolute tear. Some think that some teams have begun backing off to prep for next gen, but it's hard to say. I'll say this for certain. Denny Hamlin has done everything he had to do to win this championship. Lap 74, William Byron works his way around Denny Hamlin for the lead, and then he gets a bit aggressive on lap 76 and moves Justin Allgaier out of the way. He is trying to keep that number 11 behind him. This, however, allowed for Daniel Suarez in the 99 to creep into the picture, with Trackhouse expanding next season. I'll leave you with that. Lap 81, Kevin Harvick runs into Austin Dillon, and that brings out a caution. Byron continues to lead at the restart on lap 86, and the rest of the way in this 110-lap race, William Byron will finally get a win, and it comes at the season finale at Phoenix. Meanwhile, this is a guy who has done everything in his Cup career but one thing, winning a championship. Today, that changes as he heads to the start-finish line. Denny Hamlin is a NASCAR Cup champion! A quick look at your top 10. William Byron is your winner. Denny Hamlin, your champion, is second. He also wins the Camping World Elimination Challenge. Chase Elliott third. Daniel Suarez fourth. Joey Logano fifth. Sixth was Bubba Wallace. Seventh, Kyle Larson. Eighth was Jeffrey Earnhardt. David Stremme and Chris Buescher round out the top 10. Here is your final top 10 in standings. Denny Hamlin has finally won the NASCAR Cup Championship. Pretty much the one thing that has been missing his whole career. Guys like Logano, Elliott, Earnhardt, Harvick, Stremme, these guys have had terrific seasons, but it just wasn't enough to top off of Hamlin's consistency. Another guy to talk about is Kyle Larson. He struggled in the first half of the season, but he had very consistent runs that ended up with him getting an 8th place finish in the standings. I'm sure next season he could go on a tear and be a threat for the championship. The rest of the standings and the lists of winners and everything else you need to know will be on a Google Doc, and it will be on a sheet that you can find in the description below. And that will conclude What If Dale Earnhardt Was Still Alive for 2021. Do I plan on doing 2022? Well, now that there's a next-gen mod in the works, absolutely. I'd love to do it if I can. I am working on a silly season, and it will continue to be worked on, but it won't come out for a while, of course, not until we're into next season, because I do want to see how everything shapes up with silly season and everything else. With that being said, Sunday Night Lights, 1989. Just heard a firework go off. Sunday Night Lights, 1989 will be next. Besides that, that'll do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm SonicRules831. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to comment down below, and I will see you in the next video.